What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome back to the channel where we break it all down. Insider scoops, roster moves, and everything Buffalo Bills straight to you. This team, our team, is on a mission to improve, evolve, and get over the playoff hump that's haunted us for years. The front office is locked in, the coaching staff is locked in, and if these new draft picks are any indication, so are the players. Before we get into what went down in rounds 1 and 2 of the NFL draft, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a beat from Orchard Park. Let's talk about how Brandon Beane just shocked the draft board. Again, all right. Let's dive into the big day 2 move. The Buffalo Bills traded up to number 41 overall, jumping ahead of several teams to grab South Carolina defensive tackle TJ Sanders. Now, let's be clear. This was bold. Some mock drafts had Sanders going in the late second, maybe even early third. Sports Illustrated had the Bills getting him at number 56. But Buffalo wasn't about to wait. They saw a guy they wanted, and they made it happen. Here's the deal. Buffalo sent their number 56 and number 62 picks, plus number 109 in the 4th round. In return, they received number 41 overall, plus number 72, 3rd round, and number 240, 7th round. Let me put it this way. Beane doesn't make moves like this unless he believes. And clearly the Bills believe in TJ Sanders. Let's talk about the player. TJ Sanders is a 6'4", 295-pound wrecking ball from South Carolina. This dude is explosive off the snap, strong at the point of attack, and can stay on the field in passing situations, a rare trait for interior linemen coming out of college. In 2024, he recorded 4.0 sacks and 6 QB hurries, not to mention 50 tackles over 13 games, earning second-team All-SEC honors. He's not just a plugger, he's a 3-down lineman. He's disruptive, he eats up gaps, and he's already shown the ability to pressure quarterbacks in one-on-one situations. NFL analyst Lance Zierlein said it best. Sanders' blend of power and pressure should put him on the board for both odd and even front defenses as a potential 3-down solution. In simpler terms, the guy can play any scheme, any down, anywhere on the line. Now let's zoom out a little. After 2025, the only defensive tackles under contract are Ed Oliver and last year's 3rd rounder Dwayne Carter. So this move isn't just about 2025, it's about building long-term stability in the trenches. We've seen what happens when the Bills' defensive line gets thin. We've seen it against the Chiefs. We've seen it in late season stretches. Depth and youth matter in the modern NFL, especially on the defensive front. TJ Sanders gives the Bills another young building block alongside Oliver and Carter, and possibly someone who could be starting by mid-season. And you know what else? Sanders wasn't just some random selection. He was one of 23 official pre-draft visits to Orchard Park. He visited One Bills Drive on April 15th, just one day after meeting with the Bengals. The Bills did their homework, and clearly they liked what they saw. Now here's the stat that really got fans buzzing. At South Carolina's Pro Day, Sanders ran the 40-yard dash in 4.99 seconds. That's faster than 12 defensive tackles at the NFL Combine, including top names like Florida State's Joshua Farmer. For a 285-pound man, that's straight up moving. That combination of size, strength, and speed. That's how you become a game wrecker in the AFC. That's how you match up with Mahomes, Lamar, and Burrow. The Bills aren't just filling holes, they're adding explosiveness to the defensive core. Now, let's not forget what went down. The night before, the Bills used their number 30 overall pick to select cornerback Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky. And folks, this kid can flat out fly. At the NFL Scouting Combine, Hairston ran a 4.28 in the 40-yard dash. That's elite territory. Track speed. But of course, people had questions. At 5'11 and 182 pounds, could Hairston handle bigger receivers? Could he hold up physically? Well, GM Brandon Beane shut that down quickly. He played at a lighter weight in the 180s, but he's in the 190s now, Beane said. He's beefed up a little bit. I think he'll be able to carry that weight and carry that speed. We'll get him in our weight program and get him sturdy. And here's the kicker. Beane made it clear that Hairston was one of only 12 players on their board with a 1st round grade. If Hairston were just a bit bigger, Beane says he probably would have gone top 10. That's the level of confidence this front office has in him. Look at what the Bills just did in rounds 1 and 2. They added an elite speed corner with ball, skills, instincts, and upside. They traded up for a 3-down DT who brings explosiveness and long-term stability. They kept future flexibility by also getting picks back in rounds 3 and 7. This isn't just about plugging holes. It's about reloading with purpose, adding young, athletic, explosive players who fit exactly what this coaching staff wants to do. It's about building a roster for January, not just September. And if we're being honest, this might be the most aggressive, high upside start to a draft we've seen from Beane and McDermott in years. Let's hear it from the man himself. Here's what Beane told the Bills team site after the pick. You love when the grade matches the value and matches the need too. That's why sometimes you make the decision to trade back if the grade doesn't match. But us staying there, told you we believe he fits that value, and why trade back, especially when it's a position of need. Boom! There it is. This wasn't about playing the board. This was about the perfect storm. Need. Cornerback was a clear hole. Value. Pick 30 fit right in the draft range talent. Maxwell Hairston was still there. Why trade back and risk missing out when the guy you want is right in front of you? Now, let's talk about a pick. Maxwell Hairston, cornerback from Kentucky, a rising star in the SEC and now the newest member of the Bills secondary. Let's start with the measurables. 5'11", 190 pounds after bulking up, 4.228-second 40-yard dash. Yeah, you heard that right. 4.28. That's elite speed, faster than most corners and a lot of wide receivers. But here's what's even more important. It translates on tape. Beane said it best. Some guys run track fast, but they don't play fast. You saw for 4.3 speed on film as a player, and you're always looking to add speed as long as the football player matches it. What does that mean? Hairston's not just fast in shorts and a t-shirt. He's football fast, recovery speed, closing, burst, ball tracking ability. That's the kind of trait you can't teach. Now, there's been some talk online. Is Hairston too small? At 5'11" and 182 at the combine, sure, he's not the biggest guy on the field. But Beane already shut that narrative down. He's in the 190s now. He's beefed up a little bit. I think he'll be able to carry that weight and carry that speed. And let's not forget, this kid tackles, competes, and sticks to receivers like glue. Beane continued, he's got the speed and enough size. His size is not his number one thing, but he'll be fine there. Translation? The Bills aren't worried, and neither should we. Now let's talk fit. Why was cornerback such a priority? Yeah, we know the Bills have Christian Benford locked. Out in the end, they brought back Tre'Davious White and Dane Jackson, but more is depth or insurance moves. Buffalo needed a young, dynamic outside corner with speed, ball skills, and starter potential. Hairston fits that profile perfectly. He can match up against speedsters like Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, and Jalen Waddle, all in the AFC East. He has the recovery speed to take chances and the closing speed to fix mistakes. This pick wasn't just about 2025. This is about building a defense that can survive the modern NFL. And here's the coolest part. Beane said that the Bills had only 12 players with first-round grades on their board. Guess what? Maxwell Hairston was one of them. Let that sink in. In a draft with 32 picks, the Bills had only 12 guys they viewed as true first-rounders, and Hairston was one of them. If he was a little bigger, he probably would have been a top 10 pick, Beane said. That's how much they believe in this kid. And when you get that kind of value at pick number 30, you hold your ground. You make the pick. You build your defense. So now we turn to you, Bills Mafia. We want to know, how do you feel about the TJ Sanders pick? Was it worth trading up to know? 41. What are your thoughts on Maxwell Hairston? Can he hold his own against elite WRs? Do you like the balance of speed and power the Bills are building on defense? This draft feels different. This draft feels like the start of something big. And if these rookies develop the way Buffalo expects, we might just be looking at a defensive resurgence in 2025. Thanks for riding with us, Bills fans. If you enjoyed the breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single update this offseason. This is just the beginning. We've got more videos on the way, covering day 3 of the draft, potential UDFA gems, and deep dives on how these rookies fit the scheme. Stay loud, stay proud, and as always, go Bills!